Mike Benz joins us now. He is the executive director of the Foundation for Freedom Online. Also, you've hosted some pretty interesting conversations about government crowd control tactics and a whole host of fascinating topics. What are your thoughts on the scenario that has shifted here in light of drone technology?
I think you've exactly nailed it. It's a fascinating situation, a world that we're living in the changing face of war, the changing face of counterinsurgency. This is really the world we're in when we're talking about crowd control. This is something that the U.S. military and intelligence community has had to deal with in Afghanistan, in Syria, and all over the world when there is a rising political faction that threatens to depose a U.S.-backed puppet government, as we faced, for example, in Afghanistan. This is one of the reasons that the David Petraeus doctrine for collecting the biometrics of all the different civilians in Afghanistan, one of the reasons that the CIA set up a fake vaccine clinic in 2013 and under the fake pretense of delivering vaccines to people. They were actually collecting the biometrics of the local population and then feeding them into databases to be able to pierce through to the true identities of people. You may recall the famous pictures of U.S. Marines going around lifting people's eyes open to take pictures of their eyeballs so that they could be picked out of a crowd should they protest against the U.S.-backed government there. But you mentioned something really interesting with guns, because obviously the fact that America is the gun capital of the world is partially related to our Second Amendment and partially related to our private enterprise around gun production companies who make these fairly ubiquitous and easy to purchase. But there's a similar story also with drones. In 2013, the CIA signed a $600 million contract with Amazon for Amazon Web Services for cloud storage and a $10 billion NSA Amazon contract for the military, on the military intelligence side with Amazon. Amazon just 4 months ago got approval from the FAA, from the Federal Aviation Agency, for a fleet of 500 million drones for Amazon's Prime Air delivery system. Amazon's vision is to make drones totally ubiquitous in delivery, to have effectively instantaneous delivery. And we may soon be living in a world, given this now has FAA approval, where your Amazon products are drone delivered, and we will be getting used to them in all manner of life. And the fact that they will be used, that they're already used for effectively crowd control in places where there is a military occupation of the U.S. And DHS is basically the domestic conduit for military and CIA activity. I think this is exactly right. It's going to be sort of like a Black Mirror episode where drones will be, the willing to press the button. Now, I'm not sure whether they're dispersing lethal or sublethal. You could very easily see them dispersing all sorts of gas or noises or things to effectively disrupt the ability to do a protest, even if they're not spraying bullets into the crowd. But no, this is kind of one of those new God buttons that allow a totalitarian government to play God and totally control its population.
I think that's perfectly put. I think that's exactly what they're trying to do. But it does raise an interesting question. The government is restricting what kinds of drones are accessible to us, to the members of the public. If you're using a drone as a kind of Second Amendment right, and they're restricting your ability to use drones, this could open up some really interesting Second Amendment conversations that we're actually not having now.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.